And we are on the Mark Hoke Show with a very special guest. He is the man who has been at the epicenter of what's happening in AEW right now. The three-time Ring of Honor Pure Champion, current co-holder of the AEW World Trios Championship, member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and the best thing is he's a Philly guy. So being from South Central Pennsylvania, I'm down with that. Welcome in Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler, how are you today, my friend?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Getting up early to take care of you today. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, different time zones, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to have you on the show. First, for people that may be more casual wrestling fans that need to learn a little bit about you, could you give me a little bit about your background and how you got into pro wrestling?
Yeah. So my cousins introduced me to pro wrestling when I was a little kid, and I told myself from then on that's what I wanted to do. So I started training in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when I was 16 years old. Then I moved to Philly when I was 18, and then I've been training there ever since. And started with AEW, I believe, in 2021, and since then I've been part of the best friends with my old trainers here in Philadelphia, and then switched to the Blackpool Combat Club with some new mentors, and I'm still with them to this day.
So
Mine
take
is
us.
one.
We're going to get into that. Don't worry, we're going to get into that. But take us back through that day in June when in 2021 you first joined AEW to today. What has that progression been like for you from start to finish in AEW? Because it's just been such an incredible improvement and seeing what you've been doing in the ring. It's amazing to watch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. When I got to AEW in 2021, I thought I was pretty good, but then you wind up with all these guys that are just on another level, and you really have to either have to elevate yourself or you're going to get lost. And I was lucky to have some good mentors along the way that both taught me how to be a professional, but also gave me plenty of pointers in the ring and just how to act, how to carry myself. And I think that people have seen me go from this happy-go-lucky kind of guy that was just excited to be there to, like you said, a member of the Blackpool Combat Club who takes his craft much more seriously, who is always focused on just getting the job done by any means necessary, and that's what I'm in there to do.
Was there a moment for you when you were in AEW early on that you said, "Wow," like you said, it was a real change for you? Was there a moment or a time or a conversation that you had that said, "Man, you know what? I really got to step it up." Did somebody sit down with you, or did you approach somebody, or what was that moment that you said, "Man, I got to take it up, man"?
I always sort of knew it myself. When you walk around the hallway and you see just this cast of characters, like the roster in AEW is just incredible. Like, when I go and I walk around and I see, oh, there's Dean Malenko, oh, there's Dustin Rhodes, oh, there's Ricochet, there's Will Ospreay. It's like if you don't step your game up, you're just gonna get left behind. So I always knew that, but then I would get like subtle hints here and there, like I started to let my physique go a little bit, and then Claudio was like, "Hey, man, you have to stand next to me every week on television. You might want to work on that a little bit." And he was very kind and he said it, but there's definitely been some moments where some guys have been like, "Hey, man, there's this. Let me give you this piece of advice, and then it's up to you to take it or not." So you always have those people that are looking out for you, and once you know that guys have your best interest in mind, then you can really gravitate to them. So that's something I've been very fortunate to have with the guys in the BCCs. They're always very honest with me, and if they see flaws in my game, they will tell me. If they think I did something good, they'll tell me as well. But if they see flaws in my game, they'll definitely be sure to hold me accountable.
Well, I remember when they pulled you in, and I was saying to myself, "Wow, what an opportunity this is for him to get to work with these guys." When the opportunity came up to work with Mox and Danielson and Claudio and that group, what was going through your mind when that chance was presented to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like these are guys that I've looked up to for such a long time. I recently did an independent show near here in Pennsylvania in Bethlehem, And when I was at the show, there was a fan who showed me a picture that he had taken with William Regal, and he's like, "Believe it or not, you were at this independent show. You were working his meet and greet, so you took this picture." And then 10 years
Wow.
later, right? And then years later, he's shaking my hand to bring me into the Blackpool Combat Club. So, when I got that opportunity, it was, of course, nerve wracking. It's very exciting, but these are guys that I've looked up to and tried to emulate my whole career already. So being able to actually be taken by them and to be under their wing was something that was an opportunity that was really special for me.
And it made you change what you were doing in the ring too, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a completely different style. Like the best friends do what they do very well, but that's not what we're trying to present with the Blackpool Combat Club. So I had to, as we say, step up or get stepped on. I had to figure out how to change, how to adapt, because if not, I wasn't going to last very long with them.
Yeah, and it's been a very interesting run with the Blackpool Combat Club, especially recently.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little incident at WrestleDream, and the first thing that and for the fans that may not be aware, of course, you kind of turned on Bryan Danielson and put a plastic bag over his head. A pretty interesting moment in pro wrestling history. I was comparing it to some of the biggest betrayal moments of all time on the show last week. Let me ask you this. Why? Why did you attack Bryan Danielson?
I got in the ring, and I think the decision was pretty clear. Brian's done a lot for me in my life and my career, but so have Claudio and John. So when you get in the ring in that situation, and my choices were either I could cut my losses, I could stay with the two guys that have the world championship, the guys that are going to be there. Another guy who I hold a trios championship with, I could stay with them, or I could just blindly stick by Brian. But maybe they were right, because two of them are still wrestling and one of them's not. So it's a difficult decision. It's not one that I took lightly. It's not one that I took lightly. Not one that I enjoyed, but it is what it is.
Well, you did a social media post about a week ago where you actually apologized to Bryan Danielson for doing what you did, and this group is very ruthless, but it seems like there's a little bit that's holding you back, and I'm just curious how the emotions are playing in all this right now.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of internal conflict. Um, as I talked about, like how much I looked up to these guys, how much I respected these guys. I didn't think it would really get to the level that we're at right now. But there's work that needs to be done. So if the work's a little bit dirty, I gotta come to grips with that, I guess. But it is what it is. It's the job that needs to be done. When you get drafted to go to war, whether you agree or not, you got to go to war.
So what is the objective of the Blackpool Combat Club now? John Moxley says we're going to reshape the company and into what it should be. So what are your feelings on that? And as a group, what are your plans for this? What's the end game on all of this?
Well, I can't really, reveal the plans in the end game all that much, or else they probably wouldn't work out too well for us. But the the main goal, I will say, is just like you said, to make AEW a place that we can all be proud of. And there's a lot of good that goes on at AEW, but there's also, it gets a little messy. There's a lot of things that we need to clean up, a lot of things that we don't necessarily agree with as members of the Blackpool Combat Club. We talked about it when we feuded with the Elite a long time ago, when we were calling them amateurs and we were calling the roster amateurs. There's just things where we want to tighten up. We want to grow as a company, and maybe our methods of growth are a little nasty, a little dirty, but it's really, we just want the company to be the best that it can be. That's really it.
Well, it seems like the first major attack you had, you're going after the Dark Order and everybody else. Are you guys trying to pull everybody up and, get some people going that maybe have been stagnant? I mean, is that part of all this?
Yeah, we're absolutely trying to do that. We want the roster to be better. We want there to be competition. We want it to be where we don't have to be the ones running the show, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So it's our goal to bring everyone up with us. So that's really the goal of everything, is just to improve AEW and get it to that point where we don't have to be smashing people's hands with hammers anymore, where we can just go to work and, have everyone rise and be the best versions of themselves. Because that's really what we need.
Well, you're certainly going to run into some stiff competition. I'm sure guys like Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy are going to have some objections to what all of you are doing. But a group that I'm really curious about you guys taking care of, and you mentioned them, the Elite, the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Okada. They kind of sat back the last time, but I mean, the Bucks are the EVPs of this company. Eventually, they're not going to take it anymore, I think, unless they're just scared of you guys. But the potential clash between you guys and the Elite, I think, is inevitable. How do you guys feel about where the Elite are right now?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think they're scared. I think that they're great competitors. We've had incredible battles with them in the past. They choked me out in blood and guts. We've had a lot of battles with them, a lot of fights with those guys. I think maybe they hear what we're saying a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe they are scared. Maybe that is it. But I think maybe they hear what we're saying, and maybe they don't disagree as much as everyone seems to think. Because really, like we've been saying, we are just trying to make the company better. That is the goal. So they want to make the company better too. It's their company. So, well, it's our company now, but it was their company.
I love how you're being so casual and nice about all this, but there's nothing nice and casual about what you guys are doing.
Hey, I'm the nice guy in the BCC, all right?
Now, one question that a lot of people are asking is there anybody pulling the strings behind all this? And, there's a certain name that keeps popping up. I'm sure we don't have to mention his name, Shane McMahon, but is this an independent thing that you guys are doing, or is there a little help behind the scenes?
No, don't want to share too much, like I said, but this is really just about us by ourselves making the company better. That's
Okay,
really what it is.
fair enough. Uh, so what do you want to get out of all this? I mean, obviously you have a group there and you're trying to improve AEW, but where do you want to go now? Because it's been a great run for you. I mean, you had that terrific moment of blood and guts too, but what do you want to do?
I just want to continue to grow, to continue to fulfill my role, and continue to play my part in this big mission of what we want. We just want the company to continue to improve. We want everyone to find that fire, find that passion. Daniel Garcia, I think he likes to talk about restoring the feeling. I think that's one thing that he says. I know a lot of people say that, but we just want to, we might go about it a little bit differently than he does. He's trying to fight us every week, just showing up a little late, but we just want to keep growing. So I don't know what my role will be in that, but I'm a team player. So whatever John and Claudio need, that's what I'm there for right now.
So no aspirations to maybe go get the TNT title or anything like that. Just hanging out and let's work together. That's it.
I mean, I would love to be TNT champion if that is an opportunity that comes about, if that's what arises, if that's what's needed of me. But yeah, I'm a soldier right now, so I'm at war, and I'm going to do what the general says.
Fair enough. All right. Well, of course, some great things are happening with AEW right now. The TV deal just went through,
Yeah.
and there's more to come on this as well. What are your thoughts about what has just occurred with this new television deal? And like I said, with more coming possibly with Fox and, work on True TV and everywhere else. What do you think about this, Wheeler? It's got to be a pretty exciting time for you guys.
Yeah, I think as a company, the TV deal is something that was a big priority, and the fact that we've got it now, and we know that we can be secure in our future. That's very exciting. I think for me, something that's really exciting is the streaming on Max. I'm not someone that always has traditional cable. Right now, I have Fubo because I was watching the Phillies, but I'm not someone that always has the traditional cable. I'm a cut the cord guy. So being able to reach even more people through the streaming platforms, and just being able to have the library available. That's all stuff that's really exciting to me. So I think it'll just continue to grow our reach and grow our company. So I'm very proud of where we've come in these past few years, and I just am excited for it to keep moving forward.
If there was anything that you could improve about AEW, what would it be? Without getting in trouble with Tony, of course.
Yeah. No, I think it's what we said. It's bringing back that passion, bringing back that fire. And I think most guys have it, but it's something that we're sort of on a company-wide mission to do, is to build this culture of just going out there and giving it your all every night. And I think that we do that for the most part, but just continuing to build and strengthen that culture where we're all on the same team. I think something that we've been doing, but it's something that we can always improve on. So I think that continuing to push that forward is something that I hope that we can do.
Well, I know we're all very excited to see your future, Wheeler Yuta. I know you do a lot of stuff outside of the ring too, but I found this interesting. You play the steel drums.
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it since the 2nd grade. So our elementary school music teacher, Dr. Peterman, he actually has a PhD in music and percussion specifically. So he was actually the percussion teacher at West Virginia University. And then he decided he was going to teach us elementary schoolers instead and play some gigs by the beach. So
really? Huh.
So he came in and he did that. So I got to do steel drumming from a young age. I also got to do taiko drumming, which is like traditional Japanese drums. So being able to do that all through elementary and middle school was awesome. And then I just continued playing steel drums, and then it turned into a summer job for a few years. I used to play like weddings and parties and stuff. And then once the wrestling picked up, they usually, when you're an entertainer, all that stuff kind of happens at the same time. Like the time that I would have these steel drum gigs would be the same days that I had to go wrestle. So then I wound up obviously choosing wrestling instead. But yeah, I played the steel drum professionally for a while, and now I still do it just kind of in my free time.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. You'll have to bust those skills out sometime on the TV show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be an interesting dynamic for the BCC, but I did
play them in, man.
Right. I think the last gig I played, I was just like, it got booked by a country club. I was playing a party. I finished up, and as I was packing up and leaving, I just remember some guy comes up to me and he goes, "Excuse me, is this the All Dentists Luau?" I was like, "I guess it is." And then I left, and then I got in my car. I drove to a wrestling show. I wrestled that night too, but I was like, yeah, I think I might be done playing steel gigs. So I think that was it. I'm retired. Unless someone out there wants me to play their wedding. So maybe I'll do that.
There you go. It sounds like a plan. Well, you guys have done an amazing job with what's going on with the BCC. And of course, your progression has been amazing. And I think that you've truly impressed a lot of people over the past couple of years, from where you started in AEW to where you are now. And of course, back, the Combat Zone days and everything else. So it's very exciting to see what's going to happen with you and where it's going to go from here. I mean, you're still under 30 years old, man. You're 27. You got a long way to go.
Hey, I 28 next week though, so it's very close. This week, actually, it's Saturday.
Oh, well, happy pre-birthday. Appreciate it. Well, I want to thank you for joining me, Wheeler. We really do appreciate the time here on the Mark Hoke Show. Like I said, can't wait to see where this is going to go. It's one of the most exciting times in AEW in a while, and you're right in the middle of it. So this is going to be something special, I think.
Yeah, you can feel the energy when we're out there. It's a little different, and I'm very excited for it. So I can't wait to see where it goes as well.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us on the Mark Hoke Show today, and I want to wish you all the best in the future here in the career. But just do me a favor and just keep the plastic bags aside, all right?
That one's still, I still have it. So.
Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah, I kept it.
You know what? That is a heck of a souvenir. That's for sure.
Right.
All right, Wheeler. Well, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. And I wish you all the best. Have a fantastic day and a very happy birthday this weekend.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Hi, pro wrestling fans. Mark Hoke here. I'd really appreciate it if you would take a moment to join the Mark Hoke Show family, and please click on the subscribe button below. Also, please stick around and check out the incredible sponsor of this video. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again on the Mark Hoke Show YouTube channel.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115, or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.